Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me thank you for holding today's hearing, and I commend you for focusing the subcommittee's time on the vital question confronting the U.S. economy and the American taxpayers. Given the unfortunate road of the bailouts we've gone down, how should the government manage its interest in private sector companies so as to ensure that the taxpayers are repaid as quickly as possible? Unfortunately, TARP has become nothing more than a slush fund for the administration. The trend towards the nationalization of private sector firms did not stop with the banking sector. TARP has been used to secure government ownership of automobile manufacturers, bail out insurance companies, and subsidize mortgage modifications, among other programs. Now President Obama says that he intends to use repaid TARP funds for the so-called job creation programs, the second stimulus bill that's slated to be on the calendar today. This trend of using taxpayer money authorized for one purpose for a completely different purpose is troubling, and frankly, it must stop. Many of us voted against TARP. I know the Chairman and I both did. And our skepticism about the bailouts of private firms, I think, has been vindicated. We've seen numerous problems at the companies under the government's control. For example, the committee has explored the flaws in the AIG trust agreement. This agreement, established by Mr. Geithner when he was president of the New York Fed, creates an unaccountable entity responsible for the management of the taxpayers' 80% interest in AIG. In addition, AIG has been hampered by the control of the Obama administration's so-called pay czar. 13 of AIG's top 25 employees have already left, and AIG's recently hired CEO and other top executives threatened to leave due to the pay czar's rulings. These developments reveal another pitfall of the bailouts. While we don't like paying these employees competitive salaries, we may not like that, the reality is that without talented employees, AIG will simply not be able to repay the American taxpayers. The politicalization of General Motors and Chrysler has also demonstrated the problems created by the bailouts. In order to fully repay the taxpayers for the bailout of GM, the company will have to achieve a larger market capitalization than at any other time in its history. Making decisions that adhere to the wishes of the Obama administration's auto task force, benefit the unions or other special interest groups, and satisfy the demands of powerful members of Congress will not lead to business success and taxpayer repayment. We have an obligation, Mr. Chairman, to ask how and when we can escape from this mess. The American people have a right to know how this administration intends to manage taxpayer interest in all of the firms that have been bailed out. We must ensure that the American people are paid back quickly and that as much of their money as possible is salvaged from this unprecedented and unwise intervention into the U.S. economy. This is a hearing that takes us in the right direction in answering these important questions. And again, I want to thank you for your willingness to put this together and for our witnesses for being here this morning.